Busy, so I'm going to spare the long intro and just dive right in. So the next 15 minutes is going to give you everything you need to go and set yourself up to start losing fat in as little as 3 hours per week, and you'll start seeing results within 2 weeks if you follow this method. So first, a quick lesson in fat loss, because fat loss and weight loss are not the same thing. You cannot just eat less and expect to lose fat. That's how you lose weight, but it's not going to help you to get toned. So to lose fat and get toned, you need to do 3 things. Number 1, be in a calorie deficit, meaning consume less calories than you burn. So you need to eat less food than your body requires to do all of its daily activities, not even including any extra exercise. So food equals fuel, and our bodies burn fuel doing daily things like showering, washing the dishes, wrestling your kids into their pants. Even digesting your food costs you calories. Number 2, strength train. Cardio will burn calories for sure, but in order to get toned, you need muscle. So cardio actually depletes muscle, whereas strength training increases it. When we train, we create tiny micro tears in our muscles, and our body repairs these. And each time this happens, we increase the muscle size just slightly. You're not going to get bulky, you're going to get toned. So this leads me to the third thing, because in order to repair our muscles, we need sufficient protein, as that is what our muscles are composed of. So this means you need to be eating a minimum amount of protein in order to facilitate muscle growth and therefore get the toned look. If you do these 3 things and you do them consistently, you are guaranteed to lose fat, which means you will lose weight and get toned. Now that's great, but you're a mum and you're too busy to count your macros and train for an hour every day of the week. I know that. I'm a mum myself, and I can tell you that it is not necessary to do either of those things. In fact, I lost 10 kilos after having my daughter by training twice a week for 20 minutes and focusing on consuming a minimum of 100 grams of protein, and I did not weigh my food in order to track that. My client Jess lost 15 kilos in just 12 weeks as a single mom with 2 kids while running her own business, and she kept it off for almost 2 years so far. My client Kaylee lost 5 kilos in 4 weeks over the Christmas and New Year period with 2 kids under 4 and a teenager who all got sick the week before Christmas, and she was working part-time. She has since lost another 7 kilos, so a total of 12 kilos, and she's kept it off for nearly 8 months so far. Neither of these busy mums trained for an hour a day, 6 days a week. Neither of them made separate meals to what their kids were eating. Neither of them found it hard to be consistent once they started using my method. So I created this method because I was struggling when I became a mum. I was a coach for 10 years prior, and I thought I'd just bounce back, no worries. And I discovered it really fast that my routine of training for 90 minutes every night after work and meal prepping and weighing my food to the gram was not possible once I became a mum. There were not enough hours in the day when my day now involved 92 loads of washing, broken sleep, cooking for an entire clan and not just myself. So this is what I did, and then I went and started teaching it to the mums I was training at the gym who were having all the same issues that I was. So the first step in my Supermum method is what I call a life audit, and this is where we audit your day-to-day activities as well as your nutrition. So you set a timer for 5 minutes and you do a brain dump. All the things you do every single week, from making kids lunches, getting them dressed and out the door to school, working, doing laundry, going to soccer training, dancing, swimming lessons, speech therapy sessions, whatever it is that you do regularly, write it down. Get it out of your head, get it on paper. Then for the nutrition audit, this is not about being perfect, it's about being honest. So for the last 3 days, you need to write down everything that you've had to eat and drink with as much detail as possible. So if you had a coffee, what time did you have it? And was it black or did it have milk? And if it had milk, what kind of milk? Did you have sugar, some sort of flavored syrup? What food did you eat? And when I say everything, I mean everything. If you had the rest of your kids' half-eaten peanut butter toast at 10 a.m., you write it down. All energy drinks, soft drinks, teas, coffee, cordial, juice, everything you ate or drank for the last 3 days, write that down. Now you've audited yourself, we move on to step 2, which is where the magic starts to happen. I call this chaos mapping, and it's all about aligning your real life with your goals and your values. It's not just your fitness and nutrition goals, but your life values. So you're a mum. As much as you might want to tighten your mum tum, you love your kids and you want to spend time with them. And that's why you feel guilty anytime you try to make time for yourself to train. So this is where we fix this. So I want you to open up your calendar. A digital one definitely works better for this. I use a Google Calendar, and you can create a separate calendar and call it something like your ideal week or something like that. In here, you're going to map out your week. You start with what I call the glass balls. So these are things that if you drop them, you are fucked, okay? Think things like school pickup, making school lunches, dinners, etc. Anything that if you don't do it, it's basically neglect. Those soccer practices, dance, swim lessons, speech pathology appointments, they're all glass balls. If you work, you put your work hours in here as glass balls as well. If you have a rotating schedule for work or for co-parenting, then use a fortnightly system instead of a week and adjust it to suit your needs. Once you've done your glass balls, you go and do the rubber balls, okay? These are the things that if you drop them, they'll bounce. Nothing bad will happen. Things like laundry, you can leave this for a day or 2. It's not going anywhere, or someone else like hubby or one of the kids, if they're old enough, can be delegated, okay? Same for dishes and other household chores. Now you've done this, you can see what room you realistically have to work with for the week. And I doubt that you have room for 6 workouts a week, let alone for an hour each. But what do you have? When can you go grocery shopping? When can you prep food? So below is a workbook with some questions you can ask yourself before trying to plan in your workouts and your meal prep sessions. That's going to help you better align your schedule to what you and your family actually need done each week. Now, the third step is upgrading your existing habits, because you do not need to overhaul everything and add a bunch of apparently really good for you habits overnight. What works for 21-year-old Emily, the fitness influencer with no kids, probably won't work for you. So is it even a good habit, let alone a necessary one? Probably not. So habit upgrading is things like, if you make dinner every night for your family, then plan that in. But don't then try and spend 5 hours meal prepping for yourself on a Sunday. It's taking away from your family. And instead, you can just swap out a few simple ingredients in your kids' and hubby's favorite meals that won't even notice it, okay? And it's going to make this way more fat loss friendly. So you're only making one meal each night, as you already are. If you like to cook every second night and you have leftovers, then factor that in, okay? It depends on you and your family's needs and preferences. So the habit is cooking dinner every night or every second night, and the upgrade is swapping some ingredients. It's not going to take you any longer to do. You're doing it anyway, and you just saved yourself 5 or more hours by not prepping separate meals on Sunday. That's 5 hours you get to spend picking flowers with your kids or going to the beach or whatever it is you like to do as a family. And if you're not sure what ingredients to swap to, then you want to go and check out my Making Family Favorites Fat Loss Friendly webinar. Grab a copy of my food guides, because that will show you exactly how to make things like spaghetti bolognese, chicken city, other kid-approved meals to suit your fat loss goals with the actual brands from your local Coles and Woolies. Now, when you lay it all out like this and you stop being a perfectionist trying to train for 60 minutes, 6 days a week, you'll realize that you don't need more than 3 hours to do all the things that are going to help you lose weight and get toned. You're doing a lot of things already, and you just need to adjust a couple of things to work in your favor instead of against you. When you reduce the friction, you make it easy to do the thing, and it becomes easy to be consistent. So doing 2 sessions a week for 20 minutes every week for the next 26 weeks, way more consistent than doing 5 workouts next week, 3 the week after, 2 the week after that, then none for 8 weeks, then another 5 the following week because you're getting back into it, and then you fall back to 0 again within a few weeks, and you're just going to sit there for another 2 to 3 months. You are not one of these childless influencers that have no responsibilities, and it is okay to structure fat loss differently to what you've done in the past or to what 21-year-old Emily with no kids says you're supposed to do. Now, what most mums are actually struggling with is they are overeducated and under-executed. So if you want me to actually walk you through each of these steps in detail, help you set it up in your real life, the full life audit process, how to do the chaos mapping in detail, and exactly how to upgrade your habits, I've turned my full Supermum method into a mini course. You'll get the step-by-step instructions, all of the worksheets and resources to do the steps quickly and easily, and I'll walk you through the entire Supermum method so you can actually implement this and start getting results in as little as 2 weeks. So this is a chaos-proof system. You do not need to wait for life to slow down to get started. And if you want ongoing support and free coaching in a group setting, I've also got a free WhatsApp group where I can answer questions and give you bite-sized coaching.